The last thing we were talking about was Bitachon when it comes to mitzvos. And we said there are three parts of doing a mitzvah. One is deciding that you want to do the mitzvah. Two, right? Like you want to wake up and go to Shaar. Two is deciding how you're going to do it and concretizing in your head. So you set an alarm clock. And three is actually going to Shaar. So he said that Bitachon, having trust in Hashem, is only relevant for the third part of the mitzvah. The third part of the mitzvah is getting there. Meaning, when it comes to deciding to go to Shaar and how to get to Shaar, that's on me. I'm not supposed to have Bitachon on Hashem for that. I'm not supposed to do it. The third thing to do is driving there. I should have Bitachon that my car is going to work and I'm going to get there on time. That's the part of the mitzvah that I need to have Bitachon for. That's stage number 3. But stage 1 and 2, we don't have Bitachon. Now he's going to go into more detail about having trust in Hashem. More differences between having trust in Hashem when it comes to a mitzvah and trust in Hashem when it comes to other things. The difference the difference between having bitachon when it comes to just like regular things in the world and mitzvos. When it comes to other things besides mitzvos, we don't know really what's good for us. Think about it. Anything you want to do in life, you really don't know if it's the best thing for you. Sometimes, right, you think you want to do something, but it could really lead to a loss, right? Let's say you like really want to invest in crypto, and you think that's going to be the best thing for you. So you like daven to Hashem, like let me make sure I can like buy a lot of crypto. And turns out that you buy crypto and you lose like thousands and thousands of dollars, hypothetically. So you think it's a great thing, but really you don't know because you could lose a lot from it. We really don't know like what's going to be the best profession for us to earn a living. We might think that we should be a doctor or an accountant or a lawyer or an Indian chief or a teacher. Did I get everyone? Or a physical therapist? I'm just trying to nail everyone here. And maybe that's not the best thing for us. You never know. So you have to have bitachon. Not only that, right? You don't have bitachon that necessarily I want to be a lawyer. You have bitachon that I want to be able to provide for myself, my family in a productive way. Because we really don't know when you're choosing these things in life. We don't know for sure. When it comes to habrios, when it comes to what's healthy, right? To take a medicine, not to take a medicine, to go to a certain doctor, not go to a certain doctor, you really don't know. V'atov, what's really good for us. You don't know what type of, if you want to go into business, what type of product you should sell, what's going to be the best, or let's say you're going on a trip, you don't know what the best way is, right? Maybe you're davening, you have bitachon, then I'm going to make the plane, but your plane takes off from Newark Airport. So that's a very dangerous thing nowadays to take off from Newark Airport. So maybe Hashem caused you to get in a little fender bender so that you don't make the plane because the air traffic controller is going to fall asleep and your plane, Chas v'shalom, is going to crash. So you might think that it's the best thing that you make your plane to get somewhere for Yantiv, but it's really not. It's very dangerous So when we have bitachon for these things, we have to trust in Hashem that He's going to have us choose the right thing. Right? We should have bitachon that Hashem is going to help me choose the right career path. He's going to help me choose which way to get to wherever I need to go, which pill I need to take, whatever it is. We need to have trust in Hashem that He's going to help us choose the right thing to do. That's part of bitachon, is that Hashem helps us choose the right thing to do. And we daven to Hashem that He's going to help us make the right choice. Aval, that's when it comes to things in the world in general. But what about mitzvos? Aval, avodas habari yisbarach. And when it comes to doing mitzvos, that's not the type of bitachon we need to have. Because Hashem already told us what the right thing to do is. Right? When it comes to making a living, Hashem never came down and told us, this is what you should do for a living. But when it comes to mitzvos, He already told us what we should be doing. But not only that, He commanded us to choose to do mitzvos. If you're debating whether to buy a lulav for sukkos, well, you shouldn't have bitachon that Hashem's going to make me make the right choice, because you know what the right choice is. Hashem already told you should buy a lulav for sukkos. He told us to choose to do a mitzvah, and also He gave us the ability to make the right choice. If right, you don't daven to Hashem, please make me make the right choice if I should be buying a lulav for sukkos. That's not what you're supposed to be doing, because Hashem already told you to do that. So we don't daven for that. Right? We can daven for is though that Hashem, maybe you'll make me be successful when I try to buy one, right? Because maybe you'll go to the Arba Minim Shuk and there's no Lulav and Esrogim left. So that you could daven for, but you don't daven to Hashem that you should make me make the right choice of taking a Lulav and an Esrog. Kamosha Amar, like it says in the Pasuk, Vayitzaveinu Hashem Lasus es kol hachukim ha'ela li'eres Hashem Elokeinu l'tov lanu kol yam v'amar b'gemul ha'olam haba, when it says regards to olam haba in the next world, u'tztakat yalanu ki nishmor lasos. It'll be a merit for us if we're careful to perform what we did. Let's just finish the section. A couple more pages. Va'od ki inyani ha'olam yesh tashuv hasiba ha'mishubechas maguna v'hamaguna mishubechas. When it comes to worldly matters, sometimes we think that the best path for us is really what we think is the best path really turns out to be horrible, and what we think is horrible turns out to be the best, right? You have a million stories. I'm sure everyone in their own life has things they thought were going to be amazing and it turned out to be horrible, or things that they thought were horrible that really turned out to be blessings. There's so many people that ended up on a career path that they didn't plan on doing, and they got there by accident, and it turns out to be the best for them, right? Also, you have all those stories. I mentioned a story with Rabbi Bernstein's grandfather. He decided, someone asked him to be a guarantor on a loan. This was pre-World War II Europe, and the guy says, "Don't worry, I'm going to pay back the loan. I need you to sign as a guarantor in case I default." And what happens? The guy defaulted, and Rabbi Bernstein's grandfather didn't have enough money to pay it back, so he had to travel to America to work to pay back a loan, which he didn't even borrow the money. And it seemed like the worst thing ever, but of course we know there was a big bracha. Rabbi Bernstein's only here today because his grandfather was sent to America had to go to America before the World War II to make money, and after that, since he was already here, he was able to bring over his entire family before the Holocaust happened. So what seemed to be a horrible, horrible thing really turns out to be the best. However, havoda v'avera enakim, but that's only with worldly matters. When it comes to mitzvahs and averas, we know what's good and we know what's bad. It'll never change, right? You can't say that, oh yeah, doing this avera, it's really going to work out because it's whatever, it's the best thing for me. No, if it's an avera, it's bad no matter what. We don't do averas. You have many. That's one of the tricks of the Yitzhar, by the way, is to try to get to think that averas are mitzvahs. That's why we say in davening, "V'taher libeinu," la'avdecha me'emes, that we should serve Hashem in truth. That when we think something is right, the Yitzhar likes to trick us to think, oh, this avera is really a mitzvah. Like I should eat basar b'chalav today before Shavuos and eat non-kosher because I'm hungry and then I'll have strength to learn. Right, that's a little radical example, but there's a million examples in between where the Yitzhar tries to be very tricky. If it's an avera, it's bad. If it's a mitzvah, it's good. Like we mentioned before, where does Bitachon come into when it comes to mitzvahs? The completion of the mitzvah. Right. Also that we should have the right kavanah. So what we can do, the bitachon we have, he adds another part of bitachon that we should have by mitzvahs. One, again, is that we should complete the mitzvah. We should be able to complete it. You finish your meal tonight and you want to walk to shul, to learn Torah. So whether you get to shul, that's not up to you, right? There could be you can get hit by a deer walking to shul on the way. Who knows? And you have to go home. So that we have bitachon in Hashem that we're going to get to shul to be able to learn. Also, he adds that you have the right intent when you do mitzvahs. That's something which is very difficult. That's not totally in our control. Right, you can get distracted when you're doing mitzvahs. Let's say you want to daven. So we daven to Hashem every Shemona Esrei. We say Hashem Sfasai Tivtach V'Yagid L'Secha. We actually daven to Hashem that we be able to daven properly. So we daven to Hashem that we will constantly have the inspiration to keep doing mitzvahs, and that we'll do them properly. That we also can have bitachon for. It says in the verse, guide me in the true way and teach me. Guide me in the path of your mitzvahs. I have chosen the path of faith. Hashem al tevisheni, don't shame me. Okay, and this is David HaMelech. David HaMelech in all these places was davening to Hashem that he do the mitzvahs properly. Okay, one more page, almost done. All of this is a proof that he made the choice whether to do the mitzvah or not. However, he davened to Hashem for two things. One is that he should have the proper intent when he does mitzvahs. Ulechazik b'chiraso, and that Hashem should strengthen him, that he makes the right choice about Vodaso. Harchakas tirdos ha'olam elibo ve'einav. Right? Sometimes we get so overcome with things that we have to do. We think about work, we think about school, that we can't focus on the mitzvos. So that a person should daven to Hashem. Hashem, help me do the mitzvahs properly, that I don't get distracted by all the things going on in my life. Like it says, Yachil levavi uliyir shemecha gal eina vavita niflos mitarsecha havir eina meros shav hat libi evasecha. All these psukim, we have tons and tons of psukim davening to Hashem, that we should have the proper intent when it comes to mitzvahs. Vasheni, the second part, that we should have bitachon and lechazik evarv ala shlomas ha'maisim, that Hashem should strengthen us, that we're able to complete the maisim b'avodaso, the strength, the mitzvahs, like we mentioned. V'hu ma she'amar, that's what it says. Hadrichenu b'nesiv mitzvosech, guide me in the path of your mitzvos. Yisadeni ve'evashea, sustain me that I might be saved. V'harbe kamo, many like this. V'ani asu levar opnei mafsida chelik hazeh v'opnei hashlamasu v'derech hanachayna bo v'ezrus Hashem. And he says later in a different section, he's going to explain these things which take away from bitachon in these areas of mitzvos. Just something to note here on the bottom, if you're interested in page 190, he does address sometimes, if we know what a mitzvah is and we know what a vera is, then we don't daven for bitachon, we just do the mitzvah. It's inappropriate to have bitachon there, but a place where it is appropriate to have bitachon, sometimes we're not sure what Hashem wants from us in a particular situation. So that in that area, he brings from Rav Yaakov Emden that you need to have bitachon, that Hashem should make us choose the right thing. Shaar.